Wolves in Idaho were returned to state management in early May, and the first 30 days have been busy ones for big game managers.
Our initial effort was to get into the low zone and begin removing wolves there. Beginning of the month, we did start an effort using helicopters to remove a couple of members of packs up there that have been impacting the elk population.
The impact in the low zone has been severe. Elk populations have declined dramatically over the past 25 years, first because of habitat problems and then later predators. Rochelle says the initial control efforts were a mixed success, but were suspended because of melting snow, which is important for tracking wolves from the air. Several outfitters have been authorized through a voluntary agreement to serve as agents of the state in a local control effort in the low zone. Rochelle is also busy developing a framework for Idaho's second wolf hunting season set to begin this fall. In 2009, hunters took 188 wolves in Idaho in the first regulated wolf hunt ever conducted in the lower 48 states. But in hunting zones like the Lolo and others where wolf impacts on elk and other big game species are more severe, attempts to cull wolf numbers through sport hunting weren't as successful as game managers hoped they would be.
We're going to look at how we can learn from the experience from 2 years ago. We had some areas where we were hopeful hunters would be more successful. So we're going to look at some additional tools on how we may be able to increase wolf harvest in the areas we need it the most.
When you talk about controlled hunts and sport hunting, that will also include trapping. And so there's another component to this that I'm reasonably certain the Commission will be looking for us to provide opportunity, and we can use trapping in a very directed manner in certain areas using licensed trappers.
The Idaho Fish and Game Commission will hear options and set wolf seasons when it meets in late July. Commissioners will set a season for the Idaho wolf population, currently estimated to be about 1,000 animals.
Those goals are, for the state of Idaho, are 150 animals, have to be maintained. If we get down below that for 2 years, we end up going through a status review by the feds that could lead to relisting. If we bounce below 100 animals at any time, it triggers an immediate review and listing publication in the Federal Register that we want to avoid at all cost. With that said, I will tell you that it's necessary for us to manage above that figure to ensure that we never bounce down to that level. And so we don't know exactly what that number is. The previous management plan that the Commission suspended established a much higher level because we were just learning how to do things. We know a lot more now, but I'm going to be tasking the staff with the question of what kind of buffer do we need above that 150 figure so that we never get into a situation of having to have the federal government come in and review our management activities because we bounced too low.
Only 2 citations were issued to hunters throughout Idaho during the 2009 wolf hunting season, and wolf attacks on livestock dropped dramatically. Moore believes much of the controversy will subside once the wolf population is brought into balance with other big game populations.
Wolves are here to stay. Okay, they're part of the landscape. Whether you agree with how they got here or why they got here, they are now wards of the state, and we will manage them appropriately in balance with the management goals that we have for other species. And we will avoid any risk of ever getting these things backlisted again in our management actions, just like we plan to do with all species that we have.
For more information, visit the Idaho Fish and Game website at fishandgame.idaho.gov.